John from JO Ventures Outdoors, and I've got another awesome video for you. It's going to be kind of a long one, I think. I have done some travels. These are going to be your, I think, what do I put on the title on this? I don't know yet. Flea Market, antique store finds, and some epic trades. So that's kind of what we have here, and the title might be different. I haven't come up with that yet, but I want to show you these knives, and because they've been sitting out here for quite a while. I've had some other videos to do, but so here we go. So I did some traveling for work over the past 3 weeks, and whenever I go somewhere, it's kind of fun. After I'm done doing what I'm doing there, I find an antique store or pawn shop and just kind of check them out. You know, you never know what you're going to find. Well, that was definitely the case with some of these. But so that's the first one I want to show you, is some of the things I found at an antique store. So some of them have gone away. They've been traded off or given away already. So, but the first one was, I did a little traveling for work, and I found this little like, I don't know what to call it. It was like a used, almost like an antique store, but it just had stuff everywhere. And I almost didn't go in there, but I decided to. And I found some really great stuff in there. Here are a couple of the items I found. First of all, I found this Kershaw. And it's a Kershaw Black Gulch. And I believe this is from the 1980s to 90s. And this one was made in Japan. And it's pretty cool. It's kind of like a folding hunter style. Has the OD green handles. It has these kind of gray, really cool looking bolsters on it. You can tell the blade has been broken and reprofiled. And I did a little bit of work on the tip and also sharpened it on my Work Sharp Precision Elite sharpener. So, and I cleaned it up. So there's one. The next one I really liked, even though it has a broken blade. You can see it has a broken blade right there. This is a Camillus cattle knife. And there's the Tang stamp, Camillus, New York, USA. And this is from the 1960 to late 70s, according to this Tang stamp. And it is screaming sharp and really solid. That blade still got a little bit. Should have been the pin blade, I guess. This should have been the main blade, which was a big clip point blade. And you can see it's really been used. But I really like these cattle knife patterns. And this was old, and I really liked it. Even though it has a broken blade, and some of the others are really whittled down. I thought that was pretty cool. The next one was very unique. I saw it in the bunch. And it is a Joica, Republic of Ireland. And the Joica Republic, I think this is from the 1960s. Apparently, this company started a company in 1929, and then at some point, they opened a branch in Ireland of their manufacturing. And I think around 1978, Schrade bought that plant. And I have some more on the history, and I'll put it in the description. I didn't want to take up all that time to tell you that, but it's pretty cool. And I'll put that down in the description for you to read if you're interested more. But I've never seen a Joica. You can see it has I think it has the clamp. Yeah. I think these are clamped over some way in the back. I think there's a little tab somewhere. I thought I saw it, but anyway, it's pretty solid. It's like a slimline trapper pattern. That's what's most similar to me, is a slimline trapper. Okay, so that was that shop. I had a couple others. I gifted one, and then 2 others were part of a trade. So I'll let that person talk about that. And I'll say more about that later. The other trip, I hit a couple different antique stores. And the first one I've gone to a few times. I picked up a couple things, but I saw this. And oh yeah, this bunch of knives from this, I had a whole bunch of knives. Well, not including one of them, but about 5 or 6 knives for $20 at this shop. But a lot of them needed work. I've cleaned up every single one of these. So yeah, I've done a lot of work on those. But anyway, that's what I paid for those. This is a Schrade 50T USA. And I think, according to what I read, these were produced with the green saw cut Delrin sometime between 1993 and 2003. So, I mean, I could be wrong on that, but still, pretty old knife. I did do some cleaning on it, but not a whole lot. I did a little bit of touch up on sharpening, but it really needs more. It's not as sharp as I'd like it to be, but these are cool. I've always thought these were cool, and when I saw it, I wanted to try to get it. So I think I paid a pretty good price for it. Pretty fair. Then I went to another shop in another city on that same trip and found this Imperial. And this is from 1946 to 56. If I'm interpreting the Tang stamp correctly. And this has this nice sheep's foot blade. I cleaned it up. It has an advertising on there. And a business from Cincinnati. And it was just in really great shape. And I love this half stop. It has great action. Really great action. And had this sheep's foot blade. Well, then I met up with Big J to do some shopping recently, and he said that this knife is part of a kit, and where you have other tools that attach just like the Utica. And you can see it down in there, the pin. Let me put some more light on here. Maybe you can see the pin. Yeah, there it is. You can see the pin on the other end there, and that has a kit that goes with it. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. But I like that one. And then also this one. I think I paid $5 a piece for these. And I did a little cleaning on them. But Colonial Providence, USA. Nice jackknife. A cigar-shaped pattern. I really like this. USA here on this. Very solid, even though it has the clamped on shells. They're not loose. And I just like the color too. I've never thought that was unique. Kind of that peachy color, peachy orange. So there's those. Those are all from like antique store, used shops. Didn't pay much at all. And then I did a trade. There's a store that I do some trading with. It's a pawn shop. And I saw this. I brought 5 or 6 knives in there. And I wasn't intending the trade, but then I saw this Remington bullet knife. This is the Mini Trapper, and from 1991. As you can see there, has that nice spear point. And then it also has this spade blade, which I think is really cool. Very strong pull. It's the R1178. Beautiful bone scales. They are cracked a little bit, but you know, has that nice lanyard tube. I put this lanyard and a bead from Jim, from Jedi Jim's Knives on there, and I really like that. Here's the original box. You can see there. It's got all the paperwork in there, so good trade. Good trade. I do a lot of trades with him. And then I went back about a week or two later and did another 5 or 6 knives from my collection, and I traded for this. This is a Case Mini Copper Lock in Zebra Wood, 2024 edition. And I think I got a good deal on this. Very fair deal. Here's the box. Here's the information. Zebra Wood. Born 3/6/24. Stainless steel. I didn't have a Mini copper lock, so now I do. And I love that clip point blade. So that was that group. Wow. So that's a lot. But I think I did really well. I did, and it traded out some of my knives, and I'll probably do more of that here in the near future. Well, let's get these out of the way, because I got another trip I need to talk to you about. So yesterday was flea market day here locally, the flea market I go to all the time. And I decided I wanted a little company. So I texted Big J, Big J's Knives. I said, hey, Big J, you want to come over and do a little knife hunting? So he was like, sure, you know. So he came over and we spent the day hitting it hard. I mean, we went to the flea market, we went to a gun show, we went to two antique stores, so we just had a great time. The flea market, I would say, is probably the most lucrative, but one antique store yielded me, at least, and I think Big J are really something cool. So I'll talk about that last. But so the first guy at the flea market, I never come away empty-handed. And so the first guy there, he was ready to sell, and he had some great old knives. So these are the three I picked up. Big J also picked up a few from him, I think 2 or 3, and I'll let him talk about those, of course. But the first one is this K-bar, and I've got some notes over here, so I'm trying to find it. Yeah, it's a 1004 K-bar trapper. Here's the main blade. Here's a spay blade. Beautiful wood scales. It's got half stops. I don't know if you saw that. That's half stops. And the brass on there, I've cleaned this one up. I couldn't wait to clean this up. Actually, last month I saw this at his booth and I almost bought it then, but look at the back springs, look at the fit and finish. This thing is tight and just beautiful. And so I think it's from around the mid 70s, maybe right around. I saw one forum post that said 1977. So beautiful knife. Then I picked up a John Primble with the Belknap. You can't see it very well, but it says Belknap and John Primble. And so I believe, I'm going to find my notes here on this one. I think it's 1947 and 1985 is when they produced these. I'm guessing this one's from the 70s, but I don't know that for sure. If you know, let me know down below. But this is just a cool knife, little jackknife, and I like that one a lot. Then I bought these two, and he gave me a great deal. And then Big J's like, "You gonna buy that buck?" And I was like, "I don't know." And I ended up buying it, but he gave me a great deal on this. This is a buck, a 311 USA Trapper, and I haven't cleaned this up yet. I haven't cleaned up the John Primble either, so I got a little work to do on these. But this is a cool looking little knife, and so according to what I could find, I thought this was a 1972 to 1986, according to the Ting stamp. So you buck fanatics, let me know if I'm wrong on that, but I really like this. It's got the hammer shield on there, hammering the bolt. So that's those. And then another booth, random booth. I saw this Barlow, and I'm a sucker for the Colonial Providence USA Barlows. And this is the Scrimshaw. You can just barely see it. The Scrimshaw series. And I liked it because it had that fish on there. And it was still in good shape. This will clean up very nicely. And these Colonial Barlows are really, really solid knives. If you see one of these, like in the $5 bin, pick it up. They're great. So $5 for that. Then I saw another booth. I saw this one as an Imperial, and this is like a folding hunter type. And this is a 1956 to 88, according to the Ting stamp there. Nothing on the other side, but it is a Providence. It is a Imperial USA folding hunter. But these are plastic. This is like a plastic cover on these. So kind of interesting. It needs a little cleaning and oiling and sharpening, but it's really a pretty decent knife for $5, I think. Wasn't exactly sure about that purchase, but once I got home, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. So it's different, and I have quite an Imperial collection, and someday I should show that. So then we went to an antique store, and I took him there, and I told him, I said, this place is kind of cool. I know there's a case copper lock there because I've looked at it several times, and I don't know if you'd be interested in that. And there's another booth that has several knives in it. And so we went there, and a lot of the knives they were wanting a lot of money for. That's kind of what you run into at an antique store. And we saw the copper lock, and the price wasn't terrible on it. And I told him, I said, well, the guy said, if you call the owner of the booth, he might deal with you. And so we talked about it. We looked at the copper lock. He looked at a couple others, and we are talking about doing a trade. I had another knife. I'll let him show it that he really likes, a brand that he really likes. I think he does videos on Wednesdays, so that'll give you a hint. But and we talked about, we had already agreed that we were going to do a trade for that, and I wanted him to have it, but he was like, well, let's do it. We decided to do a trade, and that's a lot more fun, and so the guy did come down on this, and I said, well, if you buy that, I'll trade you the other knife for that. And I actually threw in another knife with the trade, because I felt like I was getting the better end of the deal. But we were both happy, and this is what I picked up. And I just really appreciate Big J trading for this and buying this and then trading it. So he bought it in the antique store, went out in the parking lot and did the trade. So this is a pocket worn 1997 floating dot full-size copper lock, and it's the pocket worn edition. I don't know if it says anything more on here. 61549, 61549. Yep, copper lock. There's the original box. Pocket worn, red jig bone. I'm sure that's a corncob jig, because I have the Harvest Orange corncob jig. Wharncliffe copper lock, and I did a little cleaning on this. I couldn't wait to clean it up, but isn't that beautiful? I will treasure this Big J as just an awesome trade, and I know he's really happy with his end of it, and I'm very happy. So wonderful trip with Jerry. I really appreciate him, and thank you, Jerry, for coming over. And just great couple of weeks here. Probably need to slow down a little bit now, but I got some really great deals. So thought you all would want to check it out. I know this is a long video, and I thank you all for watching.